Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Today on Miss Anime Reviews, we're going to be taking a look at Rwby. That's right, you heard me. We're going to be taking a look at the anime Rwby. Rwby has 16 episodes and it premiered on July 4, 2014, and I'm going to say it fits into the action, fantasy, and science fiction genres of anime. And I'm going to say fantasy because we have some elements in the show that could be considered fantastical, like the dusk and the semblance. And I want to say science fiction because we have airships flying around through the sky, and there are hints that there could be robots in the show also. So because of that, I'm going to say it fits into the fantasy and science fiction genres of anime alongside the action. The plot of Rwby is going to fit the formula of your usual battle school anime. And for those who don't know, battle school anime isn't a genre of anime. What it is a formula of plot where you have characters in a school setting, but instead of them just learning their English or their arithmetic or Japanese and the sciences, they're going to be learning some vital skill that they would need to survive in their world that we wouldn't find useful in ours. And that skill is going to be how to conquer monsters, how to conquer demons, or maybe how to play a type of sport. And other anime that fit this genre, that fit this plot theme, are Naruto, Soul Eater, and Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Those are other other anime that have the battle school plot theme, and Rwby fits into that formula. Okay, getting to the plot of Rwby. Rwby is an anime with a battle school themed plot that takes place in the land of Remnant. In the land of Remnant, you have humanity, which symbolizes hope and valiance in the land. And then you have the creatures of Grimm, which are monsters that symbolize the darkness and that they're kind of like wild creatures that really start to show themselves, really start to cause havoc when humanity gets depressed or when darkness or when a dark atmosphere period rises in the land. And in order to battle against the Grimm and to keep humanity safe, we have hunters and huntresses. And hunters and huntresses are trained at academies in the land of Remnant. So you see how it fits the battle school theme. And our particular story takes place in the land of Vale at Beacon Academy. And there we have Rwby and other characters that are training in order to become hunters and huntresses in order to learn how to battle Grimm and to keep humanity safe. Now, if you're looking for an action-filled anime with ladies leading the charge, and this is definitely going to be an anime you're going to want to see. And that's because these ladies are kicking lots of butt and taking names, but there's also I remember that trope is I can't remember what it's called specifically, but I think it's like the female incapacitation area thing. You won't find that here, where these ladies fight, they take their damage, but they keep the licks coming also. So if you're looking to continue getting your fix after something like Soul Eater or something like Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, or well, not as plot heavy as that, but basically with a female character in the lead that's going and fighting and doing very well at it, then this is going to be something you're going to want to see. And not to mention, this time there are 4 leading ladies in the lead instead of just 1. So yeah, you can take and roll with that. And also, between the well choreographed action scenes, you're also going to find, which is common in battle school themed anime, you're going to find lots of comedy sprinkled throughout, and you're also going to find some character development and also hints of something bigger happening beyond the scenes. But then again, that's something that's not unusual for a battle school anime, but that's something that you're going to have here. It's just not going to be these girls, it's not slice of life, so you're just not going to have them being at school just learning stuff. There's also hints of a greater darkness building behind the scenes as well. And of course, with the positive come the negative. And with the plot on Rwby, you're going to have the hints of something bigger going on in the scenes. And I don't think there's a spoiler to let you know that whatever bigger is going on is not revealed at the end of this season. So you could say that this season is as you could consider a plot. This season is kind of incomplete, where you don't have a real resolution for the events that are happening. Another viewer warning, or it could be considered a positive, is that you're not going to have any serious drama going on in this show. You will probably have maybe one situation where there's some drama, where things are kind of serious, but other than that, the show stays pretty lighthearted with some typical high school BS going on. So if you're looking for something that's a bit lighthearted with the battle school theme going on, then this is an anime you'll want to see. But at the same time, if you want to see something a bit more serious with a bit more oomph to it, then don't take a look at this anime. And here we go, it's character time. In Rwby, you do have your 4 mains, and you do have other teams also, which are also bands of 4, and all these teams pretty much do fit the 4-man band trope. But a positive to that is that they can be seen as being icebergs with shallow tops, but some of them have very deep bottoms. And who are these characters, you may ask? Rwby is the main protagonist, and whose dorky yet charming "I'm here to help others" attitude makes her the relatable and the likable one of the protagonist's group. Yang is her older sister, who is well endowed with maturity and power. Weiss is the spoiled Sonata princess, and Blake is the silent, mysterious ice queen. Those were the characters of Team Rwby, and that was the main team of the show. Another team that's in the show, and strangely the only team that we see that has amicable relations with Team Rwby, is Team Juniper. And Juniper's 4-man band consists of John is a dorky one here, but he's also the gregarious funny man type of dorky instead of the awkward but very skilled type of dorky that Rwby is. As a matter of fact, he's completely unskilled, so you could say he's the exact opposite type of dorky that Rwby is. Pyrrha is a star student but doesn't let her abilities make her a jerk, amazingly. Nora is the hyper one whose insanity knows no bounds. Basically, you take Pinkie Pie and you take Deadpool and take some of their traits and put them in a blender, and you come out with a Nora in this show. Well, I guess it would be female Deadpool and Pinkie Pie, put them in a blender, you come out with some Nora. And then there is Ren, who is sometimes a badass, but at other times a flop. And is silent. Yeah. And he's also a friend of Nora's, or so she keeps saying. Now, of course, there are other characters in the show too. There's Professor Ozpin, there's Gwendolyn Goodwitch, and there's also Tortwick, who is who, as far as we can see, is the main antagonist here. But unfortunately, you don't learn anything about those characters. So, dealing with the characterization, if you're looking for a show where you have action elements, but at the same time you're looking for the hints of that slice life in that show, like you typically find in a battle themed plot anime, then of course you're going to want to take a look at Rwby, because it fits that role very well, where you have these characters and they try to get along. They don't always get along, but they try to work out their differences as the show goes on. So seeing them like be abrasive towards each other and them building bonds of friendship in both teams, in Team Rwby and Team Juniper, and how they also rub against like other teams too, for better or for worse, makes the show dealing with its characterization something you will want to take a look at. What the show does with this character interaction, it does not do with his character development, where you have some characters, without giving away any spoilers, you have a few characters where you dive very deeply into their backstory, pretty deeply into their backstory for this season, but then you have other characters, and especially characters that are part of the main cast, which a lot of people will really not like, where you don't find anything about those characters like at all. You don't find anything about essentially their motivation. You don't find out anything about their backstory, and that's something that a lot of people might not like about this anime, where you have some characters that you learn a rich amount about, but then you have other characters where they're just completely left in the dust. And with some of those characters being in the main cast, and for even if this is just season 1, still that's something a lot of people would probably be disgusted about. So essentially, if you're looking for an anime that's a refresher from the shows where you have characters that are just lead bricks just crashing into each other, where you want to see some awesome action, but you also want to see like the characters like intermingle and their personalities collide and them grow because of that, then this is going to be a show you're going to want to see. But on the flip side of that, if you're tired of seeing formulaic like character tropes in anime, if you're looking for something a bit deeper away from the tropes and you want to see more complex characters, then you might want to look elsewhere. This is a serial anime with a fine dining seal, but what else can we discover about the pacing of this show? In Rwby, you're going to have the power and the plot episodes, action episodes, and silly episodes, which is a standard pacing style in action anime. The thing some viewers may find irritating about the pacing, though, is the episode length. Most episodes in Rwby are 4 to 5 minutes long, while the action episodes will average at 10 minutes. This creates a very bumpy ride concerning the pacing, where you'll have 4 to 5 minute episodes of plot and development, and then 10-minute episodes of action. The animation in Rwby is 3D and was done by Rooster Teeth Productions, who is also known for animating the popular web series Red vs. Blue. And a special shout out needs to go to Monty Ohm, who was the lead animator and pioneer for Rwby. And he was also known for doing the web movie Haploid, and for doing a small mini-series, you could consider the mini-series Dead Fantasy. Unfortunately, Monty Ohm passed away in 2015. Something people really like about the animation here is that even though you can tell they're working with a pretty limited budget with this season, that they use small facial expressions in order to express what the characters are feeling instead of having them run at the mouth all the time. So those small little indications of the character's emotions is something people would appreciate with this 3D series. However, you can really see the budget constraints here also. Something people might find jarring about the show is how you have characters in the backdrop, the insignificant characters that are darkened out, as opposed to the main characters or the characters that do have significance that are going to be full color with full articulation. The vocals for the opening song were done by Casey Lee Williams, who was the daughter of the primary composer for most of the music for Rwby, Jeff Williams. Casey Lee Williams does the opening for Rwby, but she also does several of the singing vocals throughout the series too. So if you like the sound of Casey Lee Williams' voice, then it's going to be something that you're going to get accustomed to and you're going to like this anime. However, because her voice is not only for the openings but throughout the anime at certain scenes too, if you don't like the sound of her voice, then you're going to be in for a rough auditory ride watching this anime. And something else primarily about the music throughout the anime is that it has orchestra for the dramatic moments and it has some whimsical numbers for the funny moments. But I have to say that the anime is primarily rock influenced. There is a lot of heavy rock used throughout the show. So if that's something that you're into, then of course stick around, but if not, then you can do not rock out, but do whatever musical number you like to do in another direction. The Crossroads are here, never to fear, and I'm your anime seer. Now it's terrible. Well, in any case, here's the Crossroads for this anime. Here we go, it's that time to decide. You're not going to be sitting on the fence here. It's that time to either jump in the fray or to stand aside. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to the Crossroads. You will love this anime and definitely feel like looking at it at the time if you're looking for these elements. If you're tired of seeing sausage parties and tired of seeing men taking the lead and the female characters being sidelined, then this anime is definitely going to be a refresher. Because in Rwby, the female heroines are the ones that are kicking lots of butt, and there's no female incapacitation area here. The women, they take their damage, but they also give damage too. So if you're looking for a show with strong female heroines at the center, not just one, but 4 strong leading ladies, then this is going to be an anime you'll want to see. Something else this show does well is the foreshadowing of events. Unlike a lot of other anime out there where stuff just appears out of a magical hat or from a writer's or producer or director's butt, a lot of the stuff in this anime is foreshadowed. So you won't have instances of stuff just popping out from nowhere without any explanation. Things are explained and events are given either verbal or they're giving visual foreshadowing. So if you like events being foreshadowed, like knowing that things were planned in advance, then this is going to be a show that'll be worth your time. Of course, if you're looking for some 3D animation, this is going to be a show you're going to want to see, because the show has that feel with its animation of a video game cutscene throughout. Mind you, can definitely tell they have a limited budget, but the 3D animation is extremely smooth, especially when it comes to the combat, and when they show the characters' facial expressions, you can really get their facial expressions and what emotions they're trying to display, and the characters' movements are not stiff, especially when it comes to fighting. So if you're looking for a show with 3D animation, then this is going to be something you're going to want to see. By the grace of Monty Ohm, this show has some great combat scenes. I mean, if you take a look at Red vs. Blue or Dead Fantasy, which Monty Ohm was also involved in, and even Haploid, you'll see what I'm talking about, where the combat scenes are well choreographed and they just look freaking beautiful and they're very well done. So you're looking for an anime with some good combat scenes and well done combat scenes, and this is going to be a show you're going to want to take a look at. Of course, you can't have love without the possibility of hate. So you will hate this anime, or you will definitely want to skip it if you don't want to see these elements. Early in this review, I adamantly praised the show's character interaction, but at the same time it loses points with the characterization because of the character depth. And by that I'm meaning how there are certain characters that you do gain some information about, but then there's a lot of them, and even some of the main cast characters where you're told almost nothing, and in a lot of cases nothing about those characters. So if you're looking for a show with some good character depth, if you're coming from something like Monster or Ghost in the Shell or Code Geass or Full Metal Alchemist, where you have that real strong characterization in that show where you get a lot of information about the characters and their backstory, then this is a show you're not going to want to see. Also, if Fate Stay Die Unlimited Blade works, is your animation limit on what you're willing to look at and what you're not willing to look at, then if you know what I'm talking about, then you're not going to want to take a look at this anime either, because you can definitely tell, especially with season 1, that they had a limited budget to work with, or at least I'm hoping it was a limited budget, where you have the main characters are very well detailed, but the characters in the backdrop are darkened out, and they're just dark images just walking in the back. So if you don't want to see something with a limited anime budget, then you're definitely not going to want to take a look at this anime. Also, dealing with the soundtrack, there's some orchestra and there are some whimsical tracks thrown throughout, but the soundtrack is dominantly rock themed. That's what I got from this. There's a lot of rock elements throughout the soundtrack of this anime. So if rock music is something you don't like, then look elsewhere. If you really want to sit through and lose yourself in something with episodes that are 25 minutes long or a really long like anime, then this is going to be something you're not going to want to see, because most of the episodes are 5 to 10 minutes long, and then you do have those action themed episodes that are 10 minutes long, but no episode reaches that 20-minute mark. And then of course, as I said earlier, it's only a 16 episode season. So if you're looking for something with length to get yourself lost in, then this is not going to be an anime you're going to want to take a look at. And the last thing here is that the anime, of course, has that battle school theme, which could be considered a positive, but could also be considered a negative. If you're tired of looking at battle school themed anime, which basically have the common tropes in that plot theme, like Soul Eater, Naruto, and Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, then this is going to be an anime you're not going to want to see, because of course it follows those same plot themes, because it's essentially like those type of anime. If you're looking for Rwby to view it, you can stream it for free on Rooster Teeth websites, which is roosterteeth.com, and you can also find on YouTube too. But if you want to get the Blu-ray collector's boxes, you can also find those for purchase. Well, thanks for taking a look at my review today of Rwby, which was made by Rooster Productions. If you like what you saw today, please click that like button and please press that subscribe button to see what we have to offer here on Mr. Reviews. And thank you for taking the time to look at my review today, and have a good day. Bye.